All right, all right. Woo. Wow. You look so familiar. Have we ever met before? A bar, restaurant, nightclub, anywhere? Are you sure? Could you just go like this for a second? We've met before because the top of your head looks so familiar to me. So I haven't been doing comedy for that long. Trying to make a few dollars. I haven't really recovered from the recession and the pandemic. So I greatly appreciate it if nobody yelled out, "Keep your day job," because I don't have one. And it's not for a lack of trying. I mean, I do try to go on a lot of interviews these days. I mean, it's really tough. And the real problem is that I suck at interviews. I'm really, really bad. And I get really, really nervous. And when I get really nervous, I kind of get brutally honest. And I was recently on an interview, and this young girl said to me, "Eddie, I have 3 openings for you." I said, "I know you do." Another time I was on an interview, a lady says to me, "Ed, what are some of your hobbies?" I said, "Drinking and watching porn." Now, not that there's anything wrong with that, except I was interviewing at an all-girls college to be a security guard, so that probably wasn't the best answer. Another time I was interviewing one of these HR guys. Anybody here work in HR? Like dead silence. Nobody works in HR, that's good. Well, I'm sure at some point we've all interviewed with an HR director, and they go through the ridiculous questions, and we all get the number one stupidest question during the interview process, right? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't even know where I'm going to be tomorrow, let alone 5 years from now. So I just told the guy, listen, I could be back in prison, rehab again, I don't know. Or maybe I'll work my ass off and I can get you fired and I'll take your job as the HR director so I can ask stupid questions and make $150,000 a year. And because you got fired, your wife ends up divorcing you. And I marry her. And then I could be a stepdad to your 2 daughters that are going to be going to college, who I then can drink and watch porn with. So I was recently on the road. I'm checking into the hotel. I walk up to the front desk. I give the girl all my information, and I said to her, "Could you please do me a favor and disable the porn in my room?" She looks up at me and she says, "We only have regular porn. What kind of sick fuck are you?" And I don't know, everybody. I don't know what's going on in the economy. The economy is just, it's horrible. It's terrible. And I don't know what this Bidenomics bullshit's all about, but I just got to tell you this. It's not working. Never mind. I mean, really. 4 years ago, we couldn't find toilet paper. Now we can't afford toilet paper. Right? What else? Chris crazy. Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Has anybody noticed that about 90% of the electric vehicles are on the road today? The other 10% made it home. Right? And gas is totally unaffordable. Am I right? I mean, I'm from New York. We're almost $4 for gas, right? But Washington's solution to high gas prices is what? Spend $35,000 for an electric car, right? You can't make this shit up. It makes absolutely no sense. No sense to me. And I got to tell you, the way the economy is going and everything, it's so bad and so ridiculous. I just read an article that Angelina Jolie is going to start adopting kids from America now. That's how bad things are. And I'm really nervous, upset, depressed. It's got me crazy. It really is. And I was getting so depressed. I mean, I thought about killing myself. That's how depressed I am. I mean, things are tough out here, struggling, making a few dollars, pay for bills, take care of a family. It's really, really depressing. So I decided to call a hotline. I dial a hotline. I end up getting put on hold because apparently nobody still wants to work. And I got transferred to some call center out in Afghanistan. Guy comes on the line. I tell him, listen, I'm from America. The economy is terrible. I'm having trouble paying bills. You know, it's really a struggle. And I'm thinking about suicide. Guy says to me, do you know how to drive a truck? And I don't know what's going on with immigration. Have you seen what's going on? This is another thing that's driving people crazy, right? Did you see the recent survey out in California? They asked people out in California, do you think illegal immigration is a big issue? 30% of the people said, yes, illegal immigration is a problem. The other 70% said, it's no problema. And I don't know what's going on with sex ed. That's another thing that's getting out of control these days. Sex education. I don't know, boys want to be girls, girls want to be boys. We got to go back to some simpler times. I mean, I can remember when my daughter was first learning about sex in school, right? We were out shopping one day, and we're in the supermarket, and we end up going down the pharmacy aisle, and we end up passing the condom display. And she says, oh, Dad, we're learning about condoms down in school. I'm like, oh, great, here we go. But she says, Dad, I'm a little confused. Why do the condoms come in a 3-pack? I said, honey, it's very simple. I says, those are for high school boys. One is for Friday, one is for Saturday, and one is for Sunday. She says to me, okay, Daddy, but how come next to it's a 6-pack? What's that all about? I said, sweetheart, that's for college boys. 2 are for Friday, 2 are for Saturday, and 2 are for Sunday. She's like, okay, Dad, but at the end over here, there's a 12-pack. What is that? I said, honey, sweetheart, those are for married people. One is for January, one is for February, one is for March, one is for April. I don't know. So I was recently out on Long Island, as you can tell from the accent, New York. I was out on Long Island driving one night last week, and I picked up a hitchhiker. Guy gets in the car, seemed like a nice guy. We're driving along. About 15, 20 minutes into the ride, he turns to me and he says, I don't know, do you get nervous about picking up hitchhikers and strange people? I mean, doesn't that scare you? He says, what if I'm a serial killer? I turned to him and I said, the chances there are 2 serial killers in this car right now are highly unlikely. So we all know during COVID we didn't do much except watch Netflix, and we ate a lot of food. We all put on a ton of weight, myself included. So obviously when things opened up a little bit, I said, I got to get myself back into some shape. So I decided to go look and join a gym somewhere. But there's a lot of choices out there, but I was looking for something a little unique. So I found this one place that's very spiritual, and they do a lot of cardio work. And I thought this was great. So I joined Jehovah's Fitness. Great deal. No membership fee. Pick me up at my house every Sunday morning. I get a bottle of water, a stack of paper. They drop me off in a strange neighborhood. I get some guy to walk around with me for 10 to 12 hours. Pick me up, drive me back home. Guarantee I'll lose anywhere from 1 to 3 pounds every week. I'm down 23 pounds. How do I look? Good? Right, like a rock, huh? When's the last time you touched something that hard, right? So I actually did have a Jehovah's Witness knock on my door one day. He knocks on my door, I let him in, we sit down on the couch. I said, okay, tell me what this is all about. He turns to me and he says, you know, I really don't know. I've never gotten this far before. And listen, as I said, things are crazy out there, but we really need to keep life in perspective. I mean, I got a friend of mine that has sex 2 to 3 times a week. He exercises 2 to 3 times a week, and he reads 2 to 3 books a week. Yet all he does is complain about how much he hates prison. So we got some married people here. I heard somebody was married. Married? Anyone married? Married? Here, wife, married couple. You guys are shutting down. Looking at married couple. That's great. I'm married too. Yay for me. Yay for me. So I woke up the other morning with a real good stiff Woody. And I said to my wife, I said, honey, let's have a little bit, let's have some sex. She starts to me, she's like, no. I'm like, honey, why? I says, let's take advantage of it. She goes, no, can't, I don't know. I have a gynecologist appointment today. I said, oh, really? She said, yes. I said, well, what about the dentist? So I said to my wife, I said, honey, how come you never tell me when you're having an orgasm? She says, I don't want to bother you while you're at work. And you guys are married. Do you tell him when you're having an orgasm? You don't tell him? Do you tell your boyfriend? You don't tell him at all? No, he doesn't bring you to orgasm. Okay, I don't have a lot of time to get into that, but maybe another show. That's fine. So I said to my wife last night, I said, honey, expect a full 9 inches this weekend. She said, really? I didn't know your brother was going to be in town. So my wife likes to do it doggy style, right? That's her favorite, doggy style. That's where I beg and she rolls over and plays dead. So I recently asked my wife, I said, honey, is there anything you can say to me that would make me happy and sad at the exact same time? And without hesitation, she says to me, Ed, between you and all your friends, you have the biggest cock. We got anybody 25 years old, mid-20s here? Can't really tell with the light. And it figures, they're all home texting each other on the couch. They don't go out, they don't do anything. And I run into these 25-year-olds, I don't know about you, but they tell me, like, what do you guys do? Have fun, do what? We're gamers. Anybody hear this? They're gamers. They sit at home and they play video games with each other. And I look at them and I go, how do you socialize? How do you meet people? So I tell them a quick story. I tell them, listen, when I was 25, I was out in bars and clubs, right? I want to play with somebody else's Xbox. I don't know why you guys are sitting there playing Xbox. That makes absolutely no sense. And as I said, I'm from New York. You can tell by my accent. I'm originally from the Bronx, but I grew up in Queens on the border of Nassau County. I don't know if anybody knows that area.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, there was a place out in the town of Roslyn, okay? Great club. It was called Dylan's. This was a great pickup joint, older crowd. Single women, divorcees, widowers, just older women looking for younger guys. And I used to hang out there. Great time, great time. So here's a quick story. So one night I'm sitting at the bar, having a drink, having a good time, and in walks this beautiful woman, gorgeous. She must have been about 60 years old. Okay? She comes in, she sits down next to me, and we start talking. And I'm looking at her, and I'm just saying to myself, I'm like, what are the chances she has a daughter? That's how my mind is thinking, right? Older woman, she probably has a daughter, good looking, okay. We start talking, we're having a good time, we're having a few drinks. She leans into me and she says, Ed, have you ever had a double delight? I'm like, double delight, is she hungry, Jewish, maybe she wants Chinese food, what's going on here? I play stupid. I go, no. She says, well, tonight's your lucky night. That's a mother-daughter threesome. I'm like, whoa, right? Fantasies can't come true, right? Anything can happen, anything can happen. We finish our drinks, I follow her back to her house, we walk up the walkway, up the stoop, she opens up the door, we walk inside, she flips on the light and she yells upstairs, hey Mom! Are you still awake? All right everybody, thanks a lot, have a great night, get home safe.
Eddie Slow Shower, everybody.